Hail Caesar is a new Coen brothers movie for this year, and like with Quentin Tarantino's movies, I've only recently started watching the Coen brothers movies last year. Stuff like Fargo, The Big Lebowski, No Country for Old Men, and Inside Llewyn Davis I really like. So my expectations for a Coen brothers movie is kinda high up there. And unfortunately, I left the theater kinda disappointed. The movie is about Eddie Mannix, a producer in Hollywood during the 50s, and he's the guy that's keeping everything strung together. But the star of their new religious epic called Hail Caesar, a character called Baird Whitlock who is played by George Clooney, is kidnapped by a group called The Future. And throughout the movie we travel to these different sets shooting different genres of film that were popular during the time. While this plot of the star being kidnapped kinda takes a back seat for most of the movie, this movie is really for people who like old school 50s Hollywood. And visually, it's very interesting. It's cool seeing these old styles of filmed in modern day, even though it is a bit of a satire on those films. But the thing is, it's branded as a comedy, but it's just not that funny. It just feels like a bunch of skits loosely tied together, and there are some characters that appear that don't have that much screen time. I'm talking less than 5 minutes, even though they should be major characters relevant to the plot. There are a couple of scenes that I found to be really funny. There's this scene where Mannix is talking to these religious figures to see if there's anything in Hail Caesar that might be offensive, and that whole dialogue exchange between them is really great. And there's also a scene with the character of Hobie Doyle, who's pulled off of this western and put into a melodrama, and he has trouble saying his lines, and that whole scene is some great comedy. But the rest of it just feels like this big inside joke that the Coen brothers are giggling at to each other, and the audience is just left there dumbfounded as to why it's funny. There's this review I read that said this is pretty much the opposite of the Grand Budapest Hotel, in that it has a lot of great quirky moments, but it's not as tied together as the Grand Budapest Hotel is. I don't want to say that Hail Caesar is a bad movie, it's anything but a bad movie. There are going to be some people that get it and some people that just don't. And I guess I'm just one of those that just don't. Like I said, there are scenes that I find very funny in it, but the rest of it I'm like, I don't get it. So to me, it's just kinda underwhelming. So if you've seen Hail Caesar, tell me what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I'd like to give thanks to my patrons this month. Thank you so much for supporting me. It really helps out a lot. And if you'd like to support me, click the annotation for the Patreon link. And if you want more movie reviews, click the playlist. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.